One of the things that makes my writer's heart sad is the word utilize. I don't know how it snuck in, but it has, I think, sad roots. Consider the word utilize. What does it mean? Almost exclusively, it just means use. What bothers me about it is this impulse, this compulsion to try and sound fancier in a fake way. I had a student, I was working with him to prepare for the ACTs, and he was taking the essay portion as well. I asked him, what makes for good writing? And his response amused me as well as broke my heart. He said, good writing is when you use words that other people don't know. And I think many of us, students, adults, all people across all kinds of situations, I think we have this notion that like more confusing is better. The opposite impulse isn't much better. The concept that simplest is best, or the simplest approach is the truest approach, things like that. But I think hard work of writing well is what we try to avoid with either extremities. Good writing, simply stated, there's always more to say, but good writing, simply stated, is when you can bring a reader into your experience. Using words then that they don't know defeats the purpose from the get-go. Sometimes you have to weigh in between picking the word that does the perfect job and picking a word that most people will recognize, because that's a thing. Sometimes there are perfect words that, as writers, we can acknowledge how well they encapsulate an experience or a feeling or a thought or even a small story contained in one word. But sometimes those words are so rarely used that they don't reach many listeners, many readers. So that's a choice to be made. But that's the responsibility of a writer, is to choose on purpose. Not just go to the thesaurus and find the one with the most syllables, but to try and choose the word that does the job best, that expresses the truest nature of this thing you're trying to communicate. Sometimes that looks like choosing an elaborate word with so many syllables. And sometimes that looks like simply saying use. To sort of get back to the starting point, utilize has lost its own meaning. In other words, there's nearly no difference now between use and utilize. If we had a distinction, it'd be fair, but I think it's just this empty charade at sounding fancy. And it makes me sad. And I wanted to share that with you. Thanks for listening.